Making drawings on land on quite a large scale is something people have been doing for thousands of years. I'm Simon Beck, and I make drawings in the snow. It started as a bit of fun, but gradually it's taken over my life. A ballpark estimate of footsteps, about 5,000 steps in an hour. A big drawing, 2 hours measuring, 8 hours work, you're looking at 40,000 steps. I started doing it as an easier alternative to hiking up the mountain when I wanted some exercise. You're starting with a drawing on a piece of paper, or else a drawing in your mind. Just treating it a bit like an orienteering map. You're just going a certain distance in a certain direction, determining distances by counting paces. It's a very physical exercise. It's equivalent to a long day's walking in the hills when you make one of these big drawings. I'm just about the only person in the world doing anything like it.
This incredible, colorful city will only last a few months. But for one local designer, the seasonal spectacular is worth it. Jinan Zhang is an award-winning ice sculptor and art teacher in Harbin, China. Harbin is known as the City of Ice, and each year hosts the incredible spectacle, the Harbin Snow and Ice Festival. These large-scale designs are remarkable, but it's quite a process, one Jinan knows well.
做冰雕的完整步骤是从设计开始，先进行构思，然后进行设计，画草图，画完草图之后开始画正稿，画完正稿之后开始捏泥，捏完泥之后就进行成品的创作了，就是上冰实践了。做冰雕的时候，我们会要用到的工具那是很多了，主要分为2大类，一类是电动工具，一类是手动工具。在我们传统中，中国这边多以手动工具为主，后来与国外的交流中，我们不断的改良工具，最后把电动工具也加入进来。手动工具里边会用到叉子。冰它比较脆，它怕震，所以刀一定要快。另外，在雕刻的时候
Starting with a block of plain ice may seem daunting, but to Jinan, this is just the beginning.
灵感来源于各个方面吧。设计灵感，每次我在设计的之前都会看很多的电影或者是新闻。然后在这里去搜集我的创作灵感。有的时候，中国可能出现了一个重大的政治决策，或者是倡导一些什么思想，我会把这思想注入到我的作品中去。
But the reality of working with a seasonal medium has its downfalls.
它在每年要融化的时候，我都不忍心去看呢。但是也是因为这个，才能激发我创作出更好的作品来。
Water is just such an amazing medium. You can just see the crystals, and how they'd form in so many different ways, and then take that and extrapolate it to these huge cliffs. What we do here is create spray ice and probably make over 300 different climbs. My name is Alexander Bianchi, and I'm an ice farmer. We're down here in the Uncompahgre Gorge. We have a water system at the top of the gorge, these galvanized steel shower heads. And it basically just sprays water out over the cliffs, and overnight when it's cold, it forms ice along the cliffs. What we really want is a nice clean surface for the new water to come down and just keep building off of that. So a lot of what we do here actually is rappel down a lot of these faces and just try to clear that snow off, ready for the next layer. There's about 2 miles of ice if you walk the bottom of the canyon. And yeah, we farm ice all along the top of it. Being an ice farmer is kind of hard work. We're gonna open up the south valve. Sometimes I think we're no more than like glorified plumbers. Ice farming is art and engineering. I mean, the two I think are always really inseparable. You know, the engineering is the logistics. How do we get water from point A to point B? Sometimes if the valves aren't cracked quite enough, you get a little bit of a freeze up. The water just doesn't get through the valve. The remedy is a blowtorch. On the artistic side is once we have this water where we need it, how can we do something different? How can we make something interesting that, you know, we've never climbed before? It's definitely an artistic process for some of us. I grew up rock climbing, you know, fair weather climber. First time I came out here was just kind of blown away. It's so different than rock climbing. You're climbing a transient medium. The rock is always going to be there. This ice is not always there. So it creates this diversity and this intense experience that I really don't find in other facets of climbing. And that's why I'm proud to do what I'm doing.
I was the snowflake consultant on the movie Frozen. They wanted to get all the snowflakes right, and so they asked me, you know, how they grow. And I was very pleased. When the movie came out, they all looked like real snowflakes. None of them were 8-sided, they were all 6-sided, and so good job. So, my name is Ken Liebrecht, and I'm a professor of physics here at Caltech, and I also grow snowflakes. Well, I got into physics very early. I've been doing that most of my life. Maybe about 20 years ago, I just got interested in how crystals grow, and that sort of led me to ice and to snowflakes. We still don't exactly understand why they look like they do, so it's kind of fun to think about. To make a snowflake in the lab, you start with water and water vapor, and you got to get everything cold, and basically start a crystal growing, and I'll kind of blow moist air down onto it. And it just absorbs water vapor from the air and starts to grow. And I can do this on a piece of glass, and so just watch it grow. I'm the only one that makes snowflakes like this in the lab. When you start to look really carefully at how a snowflake works, you find you don't understand it, and there's a lot going on. You dig deeper, there's more and more stuff, and it's really very interesting to me anyway. I love to go out and sort of hunt for snowflakes because these beautiful works of art are just falling all over, and you pick a few of them up and photograph them, and the rest of them you just trample on. At the end of the day, I'm trying to understand how atoms and molecules fit together to form crystals, and by studying snowflakes, slowly you figure things out that are useful. One snowflake at a time.
Feeling cold is physically painful. It hurts your fingers, it hurts your feet, it hurts your face. It's also potentially very life-threatening. My focus really is anything cold. So if there is ice or snow or a cold breeze, I want to go there. But I've focused mostly on the polar regions, both in the Arctic and Antarctic. Only 48 people have completed the unsupported, unaided expedition to the North Pole, compared to Mount Everest, where 6,000 people have summited. It's the most difficult expedition on the planet to a place that few people understand. A lot of what we see on an expedition to the Arctic Ocean is nothing. It's like being on the inside of a ping pong ball, basically. You can't see any sort of differentiation from the sky to the horizon to the snow surface. It's also incredible to look out on a clear day and see the sheets of ice that are rafted together like blocks as big as houses, pressured in these amazing, incredible shapes. You can't help but just stop and be amazed. This is my third expedition to the North Pole. The Arctic Ocean is changing very quickly compared to a lot of other places. Scientists estimate that the Arctic Ocean will be ice-free in less than 50 years in the summertime. Unfortunately, we find ourselves not doing these adventures because they're there anymore, but because they might not be there in the future. Our North Pole trip realistically may be the last of its kind in history, and so it was very important for me to do this adventure so that people have an idea of what this place is like right now, so that we can look back and say, this is what we once had.